Hi, everyone. I'm Robyn Lynn Norris. I'm an actor, writer, improviser based in LA, and I know everything about Bravo TV.
And I'm Carla. I'm a writer, director, improviser. I also live in LA and I know nothing about Bravo TV.
Welcome to the Bravo Bubble, a podcast for Bravo-holics.
And they're besties who live outside of the Bravo bubble. And that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
We
You
did
nailed it.
it. We did
We
it.
did
Yeah,
it.
great. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm very excited for this week. Before we jump into the episodes and the music video I assigned you,
Yes,
let's
that's right.
let's catch up. So, how was your week, Carla? Anything
It
eventful
was
happen?
good. So this very bananas, well, two really fun things happened, which is I did a show, improv show. It was really fun.
Hmm.
Last night at the Green Room, which is like this 420 friendly venue in Studio City. I keep saying
That's okay.
and it was really fun. It was a bunch of like our old friends from
Hmm.
Second City. It was just like a lot
Aw.
of really, we had a packed house. It was great. That was fun. And then the night before, Craig and I went to Santa Barbara because our friend Kevin Pollock was doing a retrospective with Albert Brooks, and we got to watch that, and it was amazing.
Oh, that's
It
so
was so
cool.
incredible. And I'm such a huge, I almost wore my Defending Your Life t-shirt, but you can't see a t-shirt on the screen anyway. So it
Yeah.
was so fun, but it was also like a much needed night away. And
Oh,
yeah, like Craig and I were like, oh yeah, we always forget that we have access to some of the most beautiful places in the world that are within just a
absolutely.
few hours from Los Angeles, you know? And
Yes.
I don't know if it's just like busy schedules or, not wanting to spend a ton of money or all those things. And it's just like, oh no, you can just go away for one night and it's like a
Uh-huh.
2 hour drive and you can feel totally relaxed and like sit
Yep.
by a pool and come back. I mean, we're privileged enough to be
Yes.
able to do that, thank God. Not like, weeks or whatever, we can't do that, but like one night away, just do it
Mm.
and,
It changes
and
everything. So,
relax. Yeah.
yeah, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I love that you went to that because I remember we talked about
Yeah.
this on New Year's Eve. We all had dinner
Yes.
actually together, us with Kevin and
Yes.
Jamie and Atul and Craig, obviously. And because Kevin did this at San Francisco Sketch Fest as well, right? Or,
Yes,
yes,
exactly.
okay, great. And
And I
you were
guess it went
talking
really
about it.
well. And I wanted to fly up just because I'm a huge Albert Brooks fan. And
Hmm.
we didn't get to go to San Francisco. Or Craig did. I didn't go. It doesn't matter. But their show went great, is my point. And
Good.
Albert Brooks was like to Kevin, like, hey, I would love to do this again. Maybe we take this on tour. And so this was
Oh,
like their out of town tryouts.
yeah.
Like, is this something that we could realistically do? It sounds like they're pretty optimistic about it. It was packed. I think it was sold out.
Mm.
Um, and it just got such a lovely reception from the audience. And it was just really cool to see, obviously, Albert Brooks, but also Kevin did an amazing job. Like,
Oh,
he's just such a
yeah.
good interviewer. What are those
Hmm.
called? A
Well, he
moderator?
is. I
Yeah.
mean, he had that podcast forever and he
Yeah,
was so
totally.
good at the interview. So shout out to our friend
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
and keep
I
a
always
lookout.
forget that. Yeah. That he's just
Yeah.
like really, like some people are just really skilled at that. And
Hmm.
it is a skill and it's really impressive. And I was very impressed by how like in the moment he was. And yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, Atul and I are going to keep our eyes out. I'll look it up. If they have any tour dates, we'll put it in the show notes. I don't know if they have them
Yeah.
yet.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Everybody keep your eyes out though. And then, yeah, I couldn't go to your show last night because Atul had a different show, yet I've done shows at that venue before and it's really
Yeah.
cool. So do you want to give like a little shout out to that
Yeah, it's
venue?
called the Green Room and it's on Ventura. Maybe it's Sherman Oaks. I think I said Studio City, but I
Hmm.
think maybe it's Sherman Oaks. Really, really nice people who work there. And it's, you go in and you can order your pot that you want to,
Yep.
but one thing that they've changed is that you don't smoke in the room anymore, which I think is good because not
Oh.
everybody wants that, but you can go outside since it's legal and, partake in that way and then come in and watch the show. It's also a BYOB, so we got some
Hmm.
beer, we brought it in, and it was just really fun.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm not like a huge I take edibles, to sleep
Hmm.
or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely one of those people where if I'm like awake and I'm taking, marijuana. I'm like, marijuana. I sound so official.
The marijuana.
The marijuana. I can't talk to people.
Oh, I'm the same. I can't do it. The only time I ever did
No.
it consistently is when I lived in Vegas because I was doing Second City Vegas and we only had one show a night. Like, me and you, Carla, we pack our schedules. So like I'm like, I
Yes.
can't get high during the day. I
No.
have too much to do and then I get really paranoid. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but like in Chicago, oh my goodness, this is years ago. There was a Halloween party. And I used to have this awesome apartment with my roommates, Mike Enriquez, and my friend Steve Lever. And then our other friend, Hans Holson, lived downstairs. So we had this
Oh,
he
fun.
had thrown this big Halloween party. And I didn't have a costume. So I borrowed a costume from this girl, Joelle, who worked at Comedy Sports, and it was Carrie, right? So I had the
Oh,
dress, I
fun.
had the wig, I had the blood, everything. And I went to the party and I got really high. And I remember going in, and my friend Mike was just like, oh my God, look at Robyn, not meaning anything by it. And I literally was like, I am Carrie. Everyone hates
Uh,
me. Like I started inventing this story about me being Carrie, like the
oh, that's so
social
sad.
outcast. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just that's what weed does to me sometimes. And then I had to go
Yeah.
change. Luckily, I lived upstairs.
And
But it
people
was
are like,
fun.
why is Robin throwing pig's blood on herself in the
You're
corner?
right. It's ridiculous. Yeah, she's such a freak. Yeah, it was. I've had just those. My worst insecurities come to the forefront sometimes. Yet, I've also had fun times where I get giggly and laughy. I've done that with you
Yeah.
before, so I have to
Yes, definitely.
monitor it. With those of you who
Yeah.
do partake, it's a very cool venue, and everyone's
Yeah.
really nice there. Like when you
Yeah.
go
Very
in, it's
nice.
just really cool.
Yep.
Yay!
Agreed.
Awesome. Well, I don't
How
have.
was your week? Yeah.
It was good because I think I told you last week I had COVID, then we had plumbing
Yes.
issues. There was a lot going
Yes.
on. So this week was good. I was catching up on some stuff and went to a couple FYC events, which these are
Fun.
in LA for Emmy season. They're called For Your Consideration. And, I'm such a geek, and I know we've gone to some of these together at the same time too. I love TV films so much. I love the panels, and then, they give you free food and drinks. So that's fun. But we went to
Yes.
St. Denis Medical the other day, and it
Oh,
was
fun.
so fun. I think that show is so funny, and I love
Mm.
seeing an ensemble that has like two, well, more than two, like three or four females like at the forefront. So like the
Yeah.
talk back was fantastic. So that was really cool. And then we went to another one last week that I meant to bring up. It's called Overcompensating. I don't know. Did I bring this up on the podcast last week? I
I
don't think I
don't think
did.
somebody was just telling me about this show though.
Okay. So what I love about these FYC events is sometimes it's shows you've never seen before and it can kind of
Right.
introduce you to it. And this show is Kyle MacLachlan's in it, first of all. So that's one reason I was
Amazing.
so excited because he was
Mhm.
on the panel. Yet
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the show. And it's about this kid going to college and he's in the closet and he's overcompensating. And really, kind of everybody's overcompensating in the show. I just thought the humor was so funny. I thought he was fantastic. His name's Benito
Yeah.
Skinner. People have heard of him. He's big online. Yet it was
Big on
also
socials.
he's big on the socials. And they all seem to love each other in the panel. And it was just inspiring for what we do because, he created this show and then got to cast his friends and got to
Oh, that's
write and
fun.
star in it. And it was really cool. So keep
And he
an
got to be
eye out.
like, I would like Kyle MacLachlan in my show.
Well, you know what's cool, Carla? They brought it up in the Q&A.
Yeah.
Kyle was like, "Well, he wrote me this really lovely letter." And
Oh,
so he must have been a fan and reached out. And
yeah.
I think that's even cooler. Like,
That is
so cool.
cool. Yeah.
So when we get to that point, I'll be sending you that letter, Kyle MacLachlan.
I feel like we should rename our podcast So Cool. I feel like we both say
So cool.
cool. It was so cool.
So
This
cool.
is our elder millennial
Yep.
catchphrases
Ye-
coming out.
There it is. There it is.
Uh,
So anyway, keep an eye out for that. That's on Prime, I think. So,
great.
okay. Well, let's get
Let's dig in.
into
Woo
the
woo.
Bravo Bubble. So before we talk about the show, did anything come up in your feed last week, Carla?
Oh, I always forget about this dang part. Sorry,
That's
I did send you a
okay.
couple things. Anything
You
that
did.
comes up now, I send it to you right away so that I can keep
Yes.
track of everything. And that's a
Yes.
really helpful way to do it.
It is.
Um, oh
It's
yeah, you sent me the one of the AI babies.
oh yes.
Um,
ABD
which
sent
I,
it to me.
yes, yes, she said that to me too. Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh my
Um,
God. Little baby Andy Cohen and little, oh my gosh. It's like the Atlanta ladies at the reunion.
it's
It's
great.
so
Now
funny.
we hate AI, so we want to make that
Absolutely.
clear.
Yeah, we want to make that clear that that is an anomaly for us, yet it was
Yes,
sent to me. I
yes.
couldn't do anything about it.
And then
Yeah.
I found one in my feed for Bridgerton. I know we talk about Bridgerton all the time because that's my
Yes.
thing, but I was like, oh, I know what this is because Robin sent me the baby Housewives. So
That's
that was
right.
fun.
Amazing.
Um, and then I sent you, oh yeah, just the Onion headline of
Yeah.
Trump pardons Tom Sandoval.
Sandoval. That made me laugh and also made me feel like, "Bleh."
Yeah, exactly.
It
So
is funny
funny.
though. It's very funny because there's
Yeah.
a lot of pardons going on right now.
Yes.
So
Yes,
Sandoval can be,
Queen.
yes, Queen, he can be pardoned for cheating.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yep, that's it. That's all that's popped up for me. Nothing big.
Fabulous. Those were great. Okay,
Yeah.
so we decided to do a music video based on the franchise, and the thing is, I picked Melissa Gorga's On Display because it's a really it will come up. You're gonna hear it at some point, Carla, and you're gonna be like, I know
Yeah.
that. Because it's just known in the Bravo universe, like on display, on display, on display. And
Yes.
yet I was like, where's the video? And I couldn't find it. So if any of you are listening, if there is an official video, send it. I couldn't find it. So I asked you to watch a clip of her on the Housewives in her new music studio and then watch a clip of her performing it on Watch What Happens Live. So we have those
Yes.
links in the show notes. Carla, any thoughts?
When they were just playing, when the composer, music writer was like
Hmm.
singing it to her and she was singing it back, I was like, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought she sounded good. And but that was like the informal part of where he was
Hmm.
pitching it to her for the first time. And it was, I'm
Right.
assuming on the show, it was a clip from the show,
Hmm.
which I think you just said. And then the second one on the Watch What Happens Live was terrible. And I felt really bad for her. And I don't know what happened, but like I think like she wasn't singing into the mic or something because her
Yeah.
voice kept dropping out and then you could hear like the tracks underneath. And I was like, oh, you
Hmm.
should have just, not that I'm a musician, what the hell do I know? But it was confusing because you couldn't tell where her voice was. And yeah,
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. I was like, oh, it's kind of known on the show of like, why is she doing a song? Like, she wasn't a musician before, she just kind of
oh,
like,
okay.
Joe just built her this studio in their house, and it seemed like it was for the Housewives show.
Got it.
And the song is pretty funny. It's just like, I'm on display every day, people waiting for me
Yeah,
to fall. It's like, are you okay? All right.
right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just a funny song. But yeah, the Watch What Happens like live clip was tough. In fact, I think I saw, and I don't know that you'll know this person, but I think they had tables set up. People were watching. And I think I saw Jeff Lewis, who had a big show called Flipping Out. He's like an interior designer on Bravo. And I
Okay.
feel like I just saw his face just the
Oh
most pained
no.
expression. And it was a blip. I'm pretty sure it was him though. So
Yeah.
that was funny.
I mean, Andy seemed into it. He was dancing, and
Yes.
I'm interested to watch a round, what are they called? Couch time with Andy or whatever.
Okay.
Um,
Couch Time with Andy. Yep.
yeah,
I love that show.
because I want to know what his personality is. Like, I want to know if he's
Okay.
like supportive of them or if he like ribs them or if he like is
Oh,
a truth teller. Like, I don't have
yes.
any sense because I don't, I mean, I've seen his show with like with actors and stuff. Like, I've
Uh-huh.
watched it, but I've never seen him just
Oh,
with the housewives and like and this is his
right.
whole career start is the foundation, this is the foundation of his whole career, right? So
I
I'm
mean,
curious about
of
that.
it now. He used to be a
Yeah.
journalist, and yes.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, I've read his books. He's got a whole fascinating backstory. Yeah, okay, so when you say couch time, do you mean do you mean reunions or do you mean watch what happens live?
I
Or
mean
either?
reunions.
Okay, couch time.
Maybe either. I don't. I'm assuming Watch What Happens Live when he has Housewives on, it's just like the celebrity guests, like they're just sitting across from him and they
Yeah,
talk or
that
what? I
is
don't
it.
know.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I guess
Okay.
reunions because I want to see like the dynamics of him with the women and like if he's mean or if he's supportive. Like in that, and this is what made me
Yes.
think because when he was responding to her, he in that moment he was like dancing and he looked very supportive and I was like, oh, that's
He
sweet.
was.
Yeah.
He, I think he goes back and forth. I would
Yeah.
let's take that into account. I definitely want you to watch a reunion soon. We have two more franchises I want to get you into, but maybe we'll do a reunion. Let me think on it. Before
Okay.
that, I don't know. Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
We'll
Okay.
get there. It doesn't have to be right away. It's just like something that I thought of when I was watching that.
Oh, it's such a good point because the reunions are really a whole other thing. So great. Before we move on to Miami, which is what I assigned you, which I'm so psyched about, we need to pick a song for next week. And we've decided we're going to pick
Okay.
them off of the shows we're watching. Now, I already gave you a great Miami song with Faya with
Yeah.
Adriana. So I could give you another Adriana song, which is called Feel the Rush, or we could have you watch Countess Luann since we just watched Love Hotel, and we could give you a classic one of
Hmm.
hers called Money Can't Buy You Class. Do
Let's
you
do
have
that one. Let's do
Luann?
Countess since I just watched What's Her Butt.
Great.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So let's get into Miami. I picked this for
Yes.
several reasons. One, because I asked you some questions and you were like, I want, sunshine, I want modern, that kind of a thing. You chose Mama
Mhm.
Elsa. She's not in this episode. I had to go with a more modern episode, so I'll introduce you to Mama Elsa next
Oh,
time
okay.
or in the future. I've also been really thinking about the shows I assign you, and I'm realizing you're not as into the cat fights as you are into some of the more lighter, fun things. So I tried to choose
Yeah.
an episode of
Great.
Miami that had some, so showed a range of friendship, like people supporting each
Yeah.
other. And yes, there are tiffs, yet it's not just so toxic. That's how I felt about this episode. I'm curious what you felt. Before we do that, did
Yeah.
you come up with a recap for this
I
episode?
did.
Okay.
Yes. So it actually nobody cares, but I'm going to tell you anyways. It's just like through my notes that I was taking, so
Yeah,
I just I'm just going to piece it together. But
this is
okay,
great.
on this episode of The Real Housewives of Miami, which was called what? Farmer something?
Oh, Farmer of the Opera.
Farmer of the Opera. Um, Martina is having a cancer party thrown by her, what I found out to be wife later, or partner, or whatever. So most of the housewives are there. And Lisa called the cops on her ex, Lenny, because he wouldn't leave her room, her bedroom.
Hmm.
So she comes in all upset. Then here's what I wrote. A woman is upset because another woman told all the women that the first woman has breast cancer and she had confided that secret. I later
Hmm.
found out that her name is Gertie and that Larsa is the woman who told all the other women. So this was a big
Hmm.
plot point for the entire episode because Gertie is determined to not forgive Larsa and
Yes.
Larsa doesn't give enough. Okay, Julia sings an opera song to
Hmm.
her love, Martina, who reminded me of Miranda Presley from Devil Wears Prada.
Ooh,
And then I wrote, are Martina and Julia a couple? They are, yay, queer representation!
yes.
Exclamation point. Then we went to look for a place for Lisa to live because she needs to get away from her ex Lenny. So we went to a condo, and then we went to a berry farm with some of the girls, the women, and they like cut sunflowers or something. Then we went to a brunch with some of the other women, and they just gossiped. And then we went shopping for the girls' trip that they're going to take to Palm, no, not Palm Springs, Palm Beach.
Hmm.
Then we were in a car ride for 2 hours and we got to see the three different cars and the women talking about each other. And then we go to the house that they're staying in Palm Beach and they each choose their room and roommates. And that was the synopsis.
That was a
It was
bravo,
too long.
Carla.
Sorry. I'll try to
No,
be faster next time.
I think it's great. You hit
Okay.
everything because I wrote down stuff just in case I was like, oh, I want to make sure we talk about XYZ, and you literally said everything. That was awesome.
Yay. I
Nice.
will
Okay.
I will say I'm still struggling with that I struggle with almost every franchise. It's really hard to keep the women straight.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And this one specifically, a lot of the women look and act the same. So I remember
Uh-huh.
them by their plot points and not their names, or like I'll
Yes.
miss their names because I'm taking notes or whatever. And
Totally.
then I'll learn their name and 45 minutes into the episode or
It's understandable. I mean, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes because I know who they are. And even like the first couple episodes, if they introduce new people, I have trouble keeping them straight until two or three episodes.
Yeah.
When a tool comes in the room, yeah, I love it because it's so funny because he'll just sit and he'll have this look on his face and he'll just look and then he'll just pick, he'll be like, Vicky. Because over time he's seen so many of these snippets, and then he'll just be like, Lisa. And I'm
Amazing.
always like, you got it. But a lot of the time he just looks and he's just like, they all look the same. Or I'll say, no, that's
Yeah.
not Lisa, that's Shannon. He'll be like, what? That seems like,
They
or
all
that's
look
not
the
Vicky, that's Shannon.
same.
He's like, that's the same person. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I
Yeah.
think feel free in those recaps to just be like, and then this woman said that, like, because you're
This
not gonna
one,
know until later,
no.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that about a tool because Craig was like, when we first started doing this, kind of like walking through and paying attention. And now he goes and he hides in the other room until he hears that
Oh,
it's over.
wow. How
He
funny.
hates it so, he doesn't even like how I feel about when I just hear the sound of sports. I'm like, please just turn the
Same.
volume off. I
Same.
can't take it. It upsets my equilibrium or something.
Oh, I
And
literally shut down when sports comes up. Like
yeah,
I get so bored so fast and I
so
just
bored so fast. And that's how he is with this. He's like,
that's
goodbye.
funny.
And he goes, he
Yeah.
shuts the door. He's
Yeah.
just like, and it must be like really loud or something because he does know when I'm done. He'll come out shortly after
Oh,
and so like it's
funny.
quiet in the apartment all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
husbands.
well, oh, husbands. I do think that's one of the reasons Housewives is popular because it's often popular with people who don't like sports. It's like, this is our sports.
Yes.
This is our soap
Yes.
operas. This is our thing. Oh, that's funny. I told Atul about the Elizabeth Moss dramatic interpretation that you sent last week
Yeah.
and how I wanted to do monologues for Self-Tape May, which I'm not going to get to. And then I was like, it'd be funny to give him and Craig, but I don't know that Craig would do it, monologues from the show just out of
Oh my
context and see them
God.
do their interpretation.
That is so funny. We should totally have them do. We've just discovered a new segment for our
Right?
podcast.
I think it'd be
Let's
funny.
do it. I
Let's see
bet
if
Craig
you
would do
can
it.
get him on board.
Oh, he totally would. He would love that.
Okay,
He would love
great.
it. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so what a good recap. So let's chat Miami. What are
Let's
your,
chat it.
first impressions, Carla? Okay, so welcome back. We noticed that our internet was a little bit off. So those of you who are watching the video on YouTube, hey, we're on YouTube. You might see us, our lips moving at different rates, and that's fine. So now we're back. And
And I
Carla's got a
definitely have
new,
a different background.
yes.
Totally
And
different background.
I love it. It's like a different scene in Miami. So
Yes.
we are transporting you to Miami. So I think I was just asking you what were your initial thoughts on this franchise?
Yeah. So I was excited at first because I was like, oh, this is going to be like less like catty and
Yeah.
like exactly what you were saying. And I do think it is less catty, but yet they still found a way to to get mad at each other.
Yes.
And I guess that's just part of, it's just it just is. It's the brand
Yes.
of the show. So,
Yeah.
but it was more palatable than some of the other ones for sure in terms of like women getting along.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah, I love the setting. When I was a kid, I grew up in South Florida, so it's always fun to
Yeah.
watch stuff from there. And it was funny because when they were like, it only takes 2 hours to get to Palm Beach. And I was like, does it really take that long? Because we used to drive from Fort Lauderdale to Miami. My grandparents lived there. But then I remembered like how big Florida is. And if you
It's
go like
huge.
from the bottom of Florida to the top of Florida, it takes so many, many hours.
Yes, I've had
Yeah.
randomly a lot of business improv gigs in Florida the last couple years, and I had one
Yeah.
like 2 years ago where I had to like rent a car and drive from one to the next, and it was like a 3.5 hour drive, and that
Oh,
was not
wow.
even part of the state. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
And I have a
Yeah, it's
random fear
huge.
of alligators just running up to me and eating me. I know it's so absurd, but I am
Running
so
up to
scared.
you and eating
When I
you.
get out of the car and I walk to whatever building, I'm like, they're gonna come running across the parking lot and
That's
chop me up.
hilarious. They're not. They're
Oh,
not.
thank you.
I wait, growing up in Fort Lauderdale though, it was like you would just see alligators. My other grandparents lived on like a canal and there would just be alligators like in their backyard and you
Oh,
would have to like I had a younger brother and we'd have to be like you can't go outside by yourself, you
yeah.
know. Yeah, it's like a whole way of living.
That is so interesting to me because I love animals. I have a hard time with alligators, snakes, and spiders.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
That
don't
makes
know.
sense. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
gonna dislike any animals, those are the ones to be afraid of, I
I
think.
think so. Cut to 500 years from now, and I'm canceled because people have evolved to like all animals don't be mean to spiders. I'm
You're
vegetarian
go-
too, so
I
it's
was gonna
like
say you're gonna be alive in 500 years.
I'm just saying I feel like the world like evolves, so I won't be alive.
Yeah.
The world evolves so much that I think about these things sometimes. I'm like, I wonder if in the future, like you can't stomp on spiders. Like it's a thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, I put them
I
outside.
always save my I always save my spiders.
Yeah,
They're also not lethal. You know what I mean?
true.
Like those are the spiders that I probably would be afraid of. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, that was
Yeah.
a fun little detour.
It was, and now we're gonna circle back. So Miami, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard to keep everybody apart. I love the setting though. It made me want to go on
It's
vacation.
fun.
Like
Yeah,
it
it's
was
fun.
so fun. So any specific moments that made you laugh, gasp, groan?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was very dramatic right away with the I have breast cancer. Does she
Mm,
really have breast cancer? Like,
yes.
that was weird. The police are at my house, like all that stuff actually kind of made me laugh because it was so like, here's drama immediately. Like, they didn't
Yes.
walk me slowly into it.
This was a to be continued episode, and this was the second part of it. So that might be why
Oh,
that is happening.
that makes
And
sense.
I liked
Okay.
it because it was juxtaposed with the lovely opera moments. And I did want to
Yeah.
say this when you were saying about the fighting. It's just going to be in the franchises. I think what I
Yeah.
like about this one, though, and some of the other ones too, is that they always kind of come back together. So, like
Mm.
with this one, you see the fights, and yet you see also women being there for each other. Like, I try to look
Hmm.
for those moments. And like,
Yeah.
you're not going to see this because it already happened, but when they found out that Lenny was cheating on Lisa and all that, these women like rallied for her. So there is
Oh,
a little bit
that's
of that.
nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
there definitely felt like some bonds or whatever between the women, between some of the women. Okay, what made me laugh? Oh, I was just like very, because at first I thought that Martina was like, I kind of felt like, oh, is she one of the housewives like a Luann? Like she's like
uh-huh.
the matriarch, or not Luann, Elisa
Right.
Vanderpump, where she's
Hmm.
like, and that's what I thought. And so when they started kissing after the song, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting that there's a gay
Yes.
couple in this. So that made me laugh, not because it was funny, but just because it's genuinely surprised me. And I
Yeah.
was delighted to see that. So that was fun. It was hilarious to me when they go condo shopping and Lisa is looking at a $6.9 million
Oh,
condo that has over $4,000 in HOA fees per month. And
uh-huh.
one of them said, "Do we know what your budget is, Lisa?" And she's like, "I don't know what my budget is." And then the real estate agent's just like, "All right, I'm going to leave and let you all
Yeah.
discuss."
Absurd, especially for us living in LA. It's so expensive here.
Oh
I
my
mean, it's
God.
expensive in Miami too.
I just love that she's like, I don't know what my budget is. Let me look at an almost $7 million condo with
Can
three
you
bedrooms. Like,
imagine?
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That was a funny thing with Larsa talking about how many times she had had sex or something that night and that
Yeah.
morning. And one of
Yeah.
them said, it's a vacation talking about going to Palm Beach. It's a vacation for the girls and for Larsa's vagina.
Yes, I
Made
wrote
me
that
laugh.
down. That made me laugh. That was Adriana. So she's the one who sang the Faya video and everything.
Oh
She
yeah.
makes me
I
laugh
like
so much.
Adriana.
Me too.
She's the one at the end with Julia, right?
Yes, she's my favorite, I
Yeah.
think.
She
Yeah.
was my favorite. She was my favorite. And she didn't really have a storyline,
Right.
but I could just tell that she was funny and cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
and I did not remember her from the video. Sorry, Adriana. I remembered seeing the video. I did not remember it was hers. Okay. Oh, and I loved it when, is it Larsa? No, I don't know. I was about to get a bladder infection up in this bitch, and like they got so offended that she said that.
Oh,
I was
that
like,
was that might have been Kiki. No,
no,
that
you're
might
right.
have been Larsa. Oh, it was Kiki?
I think it was Kiki. That was at the brunch. I don't know.
Yes,
I'm
that
sorry.
was
I got all
Kiki.
their
And
names mixed up.
Marisol was like, keep your STDs to yourself or
That was
something.
such a
Yeah,
weird reaction. I was
so
like, that's the
weird.
most relatable thing that anybody has said yet on this show. I
Uh-huh.
was about to get a bladder infection up in this bitch
Well,
from
one
all the
of
sex
the
she was having. Yeah.
yes, I actually wrote a quote from Kiki because it made me laugh really hard. She goes, when you're my friend, you're gonna get the good, the bad, and the freaky. Yes, I had sex 2 times last night and this morning. And if you don't like it, you can take 2 dildos and shove them in your ears,
Yes.
which I
Yes.
loved.
Yes. So funny. I really like her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the things that I wrote down. Oh, yeah.
Great.
The thing in the car about when they realized that they were in Lenny's car, which is Lisa's ex. I don't
Yes.
know which one of them, but one of them was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in Lenny's Russian, no German, no Austrian, his girlfriend's splooge or whatever. And I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, get over yours. Like, we need a black light for this car.
Yes. Well,
It
that
was
was Marisol, and she's
funny.
the same one who took offense to hearing about this
Yeah,
sex life.
exactly. I don't like
Yes.
Marisol that much. I
Yeah.
decided.
Okay, great. That's fair. These are
Yeah.
characters. These aren't people we're talking about. We've already determined that on the podcast. So you don't like
Yes.
that character in this story.
I'm not a big fan of that character. That's it. That's all the laughs that I wrote
Awesome.
down.
I love it. And you brought up the ones that I brought up. So did you have so favorite character for me is Adriana. Maybe least favorite is yours Marisol, I'm guessing. Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think my favorite based on this episode were Adriana and Julia. I do really like
Yes.
Julia.
I like Julia too.
Julia looks like a movie star to me. Like she's
Hmm.
beautiful
Yes.
and she seemed very sweet. At first I was like, oh, she's gonna be a lot because she was doing the
The
practicing
opera.
opera.
Yeah.
But it was like very sweet the way that she did it and
Yes.
surprised her partner, wife. What I don't know what it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, I love Julia too because you don't often see housewives. She is a model.
Oh, she
Yet
is. Okay.
she has a farm. Like on many episodes, you see her
Oh,
out with her animals. Like she is not what you would think of when you think of
mm-hmm.
housewives, which is I think why I also like this series, this franchise because you get to I don't think we've ever seen a same-sex couple on one of the franchises until now. I
Yeah.
am curious, do you know who Martina is?
No, no idea.
Okay. So that's Martina Navratilova. She was a super famous tennis pro.
Oh,
Yeah. So you'll have to look that up.
I,
Like really
yeah, I'll look it
famous.
up. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, now that you've said her whole name, it sounds familiar, but again, I'm not a sports person, so I don't have a big reference
Yeah.
for it. But maybe Craig will be able to tell me about it because
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows.
You should ask Craig. I bet he'll know exactly who
Yeah.
she is. So they do end up bringing a lot of sports related people on these shows, even though the viewers aren't
Yeah.
really into sports. So what do you think about the fashion and the looks? Did you have any favorites? I didn't ask you to write anything down. I was just curious because you love fashion.
Yeah, nothing like stood out to me as amazing or oh no, it did. Yes. What am I talking about? All of the in like confessionals, everything that they were wearing
Yes.
in the confessionals, they felt like high fashion, like almost like
Hmm.
Met Gala.
Yeah.
Not total Met Gala, but like almost Met Gala.
Yes.
Um, but then like just in the day to day of them hanging out, I didn't notice anything, but nothing bad either. Nothing that I was like,
Right.
ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a lot
Yeah.
brighter. I did my nails not because of this, but I feel like I have Miami nails and I wore a
Yeah.
bright shirt for this podcast. I don't wear a lot of bright colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's another thing that we haven't talked about is the confessionals. That's a big thing. Like you'll be like the confessional looks on these franchises, like about like a third through the season, you'll start to see new looks because they film them at different times. And so people
Oh,
will really analyze, like, ooh, did you see that confessional look? We love it or we hate it or that kind of a thing.
oh, cool.
So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
whole
That's
thing.
fun. I like that stuff. I like the
Yeah.
puzzle. Like, how do we, that's fun.
Yeah. So, anyone you would want to follow on future seasons, storylines as a writer?
Definitely Julia, definitely Adriana, definitely Gertie.
Hmm.
Kiki's very funny. I feel like we didn't get full Kiki in this episode, but
Right.
there's a promise of something, and she's gorgeous too.
Oh,
My goodness.
yes.
I also thought Nicole was really attractive.
Hmm.
She didn't really do much, I don't
Hmm.
think, in this episode. She
No.
didn't, yeah. Yeah, I don't know that she has much of a big personality, but yeah. So those women.
Great. Love it. Okay, now you've seen your first Miami episode. I'm just gonna throw out some questions you probably don't know the answers to. Just curious about your guesses. So,
Yeah.
which of one of these housewives was married to Scottie Pippen, who played for the Chicago Bulls, and
Oh.
later went on to date Michael Jordan's son, who played for the Chicago
Oh,
Bulls? So there's
wow.
a whole sports connection. Any guesses on who it
Mm.
might be?
Michael Jordan's son would probably be our age, right? So
Maybe
that
even
would be
younger. Yep.
younger than us.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Michael Jordan was our, okay, hold on. Sorry. I'm just going through
No,
my
it's so
timeline. So maybe
random.
he's in his 30s. So maybe it maybe would have been oh, who some of these women are
So,
definitely not in their 30s.
yeah.
Hold
Well,
on.
it doesn't mean that
Gertie?
they're in their
Gertie
30s.
maybe? Yeah, that's
Gertie. Oh,
true.
Gertie.
Gertie.
That's a good guess. Yeah, no, it's not Gertie. I
I don't
think
know.
it's,
Just tell
yeah,
me.
that's okay. It's Larsa. Larsa Pippen. So it's like a big thing because there's a age difference
Oh.
and Scotty and
Oh.
Michael Jordan were I think maybe even rivals. So it was weird that then
Oh, I
she
have no
dates
idea.
his son.
Yeah.
Again, random sports stuff.
Remind me
Okay.
who Larsa was again? I've already forgotten.
Larsa is the one who told everyone
Oh,
about
yes.
Gertie's. Yes.
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't understand her. Like I felt like she was like supposed to be the villain of the episode, but
Hmm.
I didn't totally buy that she was the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It felt a little put upon, so I don't know. I
that's
don't know.
fair. That's a
Yeah.
fair observation with her. Okay, two of these housewives are not housewives. They're what we call a friend of, which means they're not in the opening picture. They don't get a tagline.
Oh.
And I think it's interesting who they are in this series. So, actually, three of them. So, any guesses on who are just friends of and aren't actual full housewives? And if you want me to name the people that we saw, I can do that because I know it's a lot.
Who so it was Kiki, Gertie, and who was the third one at brunch?
At brunch, Kiki, Gertie, and
Who had like a medical procedure that she needed
oh, that's
to
Marisol. Marisol.
oh no, she's probably in it a lot. She's probably a housewife. Nicole, probably because she didn't
Okay.
really have much of a storyline.
Hmm.
Honestly, Robin, they all like except for the ones that I've called out as like
Yeah.
being memorable, they all are the same person
The
to me.
same. Great. Love it. Yeah, and this is an interesting episode because some of the heavy hitters you don't see as much in this episode because I just really was into the Julia and the opera and all of that part of this
Yeah,
episode.
me
So
too. Yeah.
you don't see as much of some of the full like Alexia is a big time person, but you don't see her a lot in this episode. She's the one
Yeah.
that ends up rooming with Marisol later.
Oh
So
yeah.
actually,
She's awful. She's awful.
yeah, you'll get to, yeah, I could see
Or
you
at least in
thinking
this
that.
episode.
I could
I'm
see
just
you
saying in
thinking
this
that.
episode,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
terrible.
Doesn't come
Yeah.
across great. So,
No.
surprisingly, Marisol is a friend of. She used to be a main one. Miami was around
Oh, okay.
for 3 years, and then it was canceled or put on pause for like a decade, and then they just
Oh,
brought it
okay.
back. And so and they refreshed the cast. And so she's just a friend of, which is odd because she is in it a lot. And Adriana, which blows my mind because she's in it a ton, but she's just a friend of, and Kiki. But Kiki, I think, is going to become a full-fledged housewife this coming season. So,
That's funny because my instinct was Marisol
mhm.
because and I also thought oh maybe Kiki too because at the brunch they were like we couldn't make the
Mm,
celebration of life cancer party or
right.
whatever. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, maybe they're not really whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, Adriana surprises me for sure.
Yeah. Me too. She's the
Yeah.
best. Okay. You won't know this. I just want to hear your guess. Lisa Hochstein's ex-husband Lenny, he's a plastic surgeon and he has a nickname. Any ideas what that nickname might be? Like the blank.
The sharp knife. The
Ooh,
sharpest knife in the drawer.
that's amazing. I'm gonna go see Dr. Sharpest Knife in the Drawer. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Well, his nickname is the Boob God because
The boob god.
he's the god of the
Wow.
boobs in Miami. So everyone goes to the Boob God.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Good for
And
him.
good for him. Speaking of doctors, one of these ladies is a practicing doctor. Any guesses who?
Hmm. Guess, Carla. Just guess. Just pick a name. I'm gonna go with Larsa.
Ooh, I love that you think Larsa is a practicing doctor. That's amazing. Larsa's,
Honestly, it was just the last name I could think of.
that's great. Okay, I was like, ah, Larsa's main income, I think, is OnlyFans, which is a plot point of the show.
Amazing.
And no, you see her in Scrubs for just a hot second. It is Nicole. So Nicole is a doctor.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. That makes so much sense because she seems very grounded
Yes. And
compared to everybody else.
she is. And she's also not going to be on the next season because she's having a baby.
Oh,
So this show was originally not going to be a Housewives franchise, much like Dallas. It was going to be something
mm,
else. So I'm going to give you five titles, and I want you to pick what you think the original title of this show was, okay?
okay.
So we have Miami Magic, She's Cold as Vice, Miami
Oh.
Social Club, City of Fights, or Cruisin' and Boozin'. So
Ooh.
yeah,
I'm gonna
Miami
go with
Magic. Ooh, yeah,
the
go.
Vice one. What was it called?
She's Cold as Vice.
She's cold as Vice. That's what I'm
Okay.
gonna pick.
Oh, that's great, Carla. I wrote that one. No,
It's good.
I looked up like what is Miami's like nicknames and I was like, ooh, that's fun. No, it was called the Miami Social Club and then they changed it into
Oh,
Housewives. So, no.
great.
Yeah. Now, one of these ladies is a former BFF of Kim Kardashian, later had a huge falling out. Who might that be? Any thoughts?
Ooh. The the Scottie Pippen lady, right?
You
Would
are
that
so
be?
correct. Yeah, Carla. Yes.
Which one was that?
Larsa
Larsa? Larsa Pippen?
Larsa used to roll with Kim all roll. Who am I? Used to be, used to
You're
run
Robin. You're
around.
Robin.
I'm Robin. So cool. I'm so cool. She
So
used
cool.
to be really in Kim's circle, and then there was, but like I said, this franchise existed, then was not on for many years, and then when they brought it back, she looks so different. If you look up Larsa Pippen from the
Okay.
original series to now, you won't recognize her. You will not
Oh,
recognize her. And
okay.
Adriana kind of calls her out in the very first episode. She's like, "You went away and then you got like a butt job and you did this so you can look like Kim Kardashian, but you're not even friends with her anymore." Like just so weird.
Oh, sad. Sad.
Yeah. So very interesting. Okay. Now I think we're almost done. I'm curious, there were no taglines in this episode because it was a to be continued. So you didn't get to see the like, I'm Miami and Miami's hot, like whatever they say.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any, if you were to pick like one of these ladies, what might their tagline be based off of this episode? Can you, I know I'm putting you on the
Remind me
spot.
how this works again. I don't
So
remember.
basically, it would be like Lisa Vanderpump would be like, heavy is the crown, but at least I'm wearing the crown. Or, like they just say something
Okay.
about the city or their drama in the episode and make some kind of pun about it.
Okay.
Like I roll
Hot
with the
in the
punches.
sheets. Hot in the sheets and even hotter on the streets of
Ooh,
Miami.
that's a good one. I
Was
could see
it?
that. I could see that being real. Yeah, who would that be?
That would be Kiki.
I
Oh wait,
love
but she's
it.
not a housewife. That would
She can,
be
that's okay.
who was the other one who talked about sex? I forget.
Larsa. Well, they talked
Larsa.
about
That's
Larsa.
Larsa. Yeah,
Hot
yeah,
in the
yeah.
sh I love it. Hot
Hot
in the
in the
sh
sheets and even hotter on the streets, dot, dot, dot,
Ooh.
of Miami.
Yeah, you got to have that extra little cheesy
Yeah.
Miami. That is so
The
good, Carla. I
ellipses.
I feel like that could be her. Now, Larsa's
Okay.
actually hers was I don't need to keep score because I'm always winning. That's fine. I
Oh,
like
that's pretty
I like
good.
it's pretty clever. I think I like yours better. So, a couple of them just for context, this season Alexia's was I'm the Cuban doll, but Miami is my dream house. Or, they
Oh.
kind of Gertie, who's having a hard time. Hard times are temporary, but I'll be fabulous forever. And Julia's, which you get from this episode, my life is like a song and I always sing with pride, which has so many meanings,
Aw.
which I love.
Uh-huh.
And Lisa's, take me off the throne and I'll bring down the kingdom. And then
Ooh.
I know, Dr. Nicole, don't let the private plane fool you. This girl always stays grounded, which you picked up
Oh,
on.
yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
she's very
I did.
wealthy. You know what? There was one other thing I wanted to say that made me laugh so hard. It was the car ride when they showed the three different cars and the time they were having.
Yes.
And Lisa's just talking about Lenny nonstop. Like she says, she
Yes.
can't stop talking about Lenny. And then the other girls are dancing to Faya and then the
Yes.
opera. And they're just
The
totally having the
opera
best
singing.
time. And it's just that
Yeah.
classic, like, oh, which car do you want to get in? The fun car or the ugh?
Hmm. No, that was a really fun edit, the way that they did that for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to need to assign you the next franchise. Now, we may or may
Okay.
not do another Love Hotel in between. We'll talk about that after. I still need to assign you the next Housewives franchise. So,
Okay.
based on your opinions, these are just your gut, Surrey County or Orange County?
Orange County. We should do
Great.
Orange County.
Whoop It Up or Fiance? You have no context.
Fiance.
Love it.
Fiance.
Love it. All right, now I'm going to read you some quotes, and I want you to pick your favorite quote because you don't know what these are from. First
Okay.
quote: Did Michael get indicted for swinging his ding-a-ling across Instagram? That's one.
That's the one I want. That's
The
it.
second one, the second one is, if everyone says you're dead, it's time to lie down. That's number
Mm.
two. Number three, you went so low I couldn't even get a broom to sweep you up.
Ooh.
And number four, is your ass jealous of the shit that comes out of your mouth?
Oh. Oh, I was sold on the first one, but that last one's really good.
Uh,
I'm gonna go with is your ass jealous of the shit that comes out of your mouth?
okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna go to Orange County next then.
Great.
That's Orange
Great.
County. Those were all great quotes, though. They have some good ones.
Orange
Okay.
County was the first franchise, right?
It was the
Did I
very
remember that?
first franchise.
Okay.
Yes. So I have to figure out where to put you because there's way too much to choose from there. So I'm gonna have to take into account
Okay.
everything I know about what your preferences are now.
Yeah.
So that's all we got. Do you
Great.
have any last thoughts?
No, this was fun. Thank you.
This was fun.
I liked Miami.
Awesome.
I'll go back. I'll go back to
Yeah.
Miami if we have to.
I like
Yeah.
Miami too. And it's gonna start up right now in like two
I saw
weeks.
that in June. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost June. Oh, my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
probably already started by the time you're listening to this episode. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yay! Okay, well, that is it for another episode of the Bravo Bubble. I am Robin Lynn Norris.
And I'm Carla Kakowski. I interrupted you. That's okay. We're gonna keep going.
I don't even think you did. And
Okay.
we are so excited for you to be on this journey with Carla, with us. We have a lot of people who are
Mhm.
saying, like, I'm a Robin or I'm a Carla. So let us know which one you are. You can DM us, you can email us at thebravobubble@gmail.com or on all platforms at the Bravo Bubble.
And if you do listen to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, if you could leave us a quick review, that would be so helpful because the more reviews we get, the easier it is to find our show.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Bravo Bubble. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. Robin here with your next Bravo Bubble assignment. Now, I know we said we were going to finally get to Orange County, yet When Carla and I were recording this episode, there was and probably still is a lot going on in the world. And it was pretty heavy and we just needed a break. And as those of you who watch know, those OC ladies can be quite toxic. We love them, but we needed a little lightness. So we're going back to Bravo's Love Hotel, Season 1, Episode 2, Three's a Crowd, for a little laughter, a little sunshine. We hope you enjoy, and we'll see you on the next Bravo Bubble. Thanks.